darkness surrounds us. It's time to light up the night. It's time for Zero Dark 30 with John.
Yay! Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
It is Zero Dark 30. It's the Friday wrap-up Zero Dark 30. Let's wrap this week up, folks. What's really named in this week? Well, corruption is named in this week. The filth of D.C. has been named in this week. Naming names. Oh, man. Is it happening? Is it truly happening? Can this be the start of a very good, shall we say, course of actions? Now, I am not naive, nor am I overly optimistic. I'm merely asking questions, right? We're preppers. We're patriots. We want to be ready for whatever happens. And we've been cautioned by both our comrades and history itself. You know, Uman's 72-hour news cycle. Well, you don't, you shouldn't be able to submit articles of impeachment for the President of the United States and have that fall apart and fall away after a 72-hour news cycle. In other words, this should have legs and it should go all the way. And the naming of names started with Mayorkas, and then Christopher Wray, and then the Attorney General Merrick Garland, and then the President, Joe Biden. To say that the government is corrupt, well, we know it's an understatement, in all truth. The FBI has been on the hot seat as well this week, not just their director, Christopher Wray, who has articles of impeachment introduced, but the entire FBI for its weaponized and mechanized behavior. How it has systematically destroyed lives and used fear to control people. And I think that is what is most surprising of all, is how fear has been used by the FBI. It was used by, folks, the Nazis. That's right, those stinking Nazis. Same tricks are being used by the Democrats today. Lie after lie after lie, followed by more lies, and then using terror, threats, violence, intimidation by supposed government authorities, you know, like Gestapo and the SS. That is exactly what the Democrats in Washington, D.C. have been building. So people respond with fear. Fear being the greatest motivator of all. Fear causes two things. Well, actually three. Let us go through the first two, which are the most common. Fear causes flight. That is, it causes people to run away from the danger. And fear causes paralyzation, the failure to take any action at all. And the other response, which is less common, but is real, is fight. People become afraid, they will fight back, right? Knowing that the threat exists. So let's start with those. The flight. That's what they want people to do, is run away from these subjects and topics. They hear you talking about the FBI. They hear you talking about Mayorkas. They hear you talking about Joe Biden. And fear causes them to run away, to walk away, right? From the water cooler, from the dinner table, from the bar. People just walk away from it. They get away from it. They don't want any part of it. And I've got to tell you, I am aware of this in the public because I feel this feeling of dread and terror that comes from talking about these people and naming the names. It's not an overwhelming fear that causes me to run. It's not an overwhelming fear that paralyzes me. See, that's the other thing is people, they won't take any action at all because of their fear. They're frozen, deer in the headlights, because they don't know what's going to happen to them. They don't want to be the one that gets, well, any grief for standing up for liberty, freedom, the country, or pointing out corruption and naming names. Well, the names have been called out, and they got called out again yesterday. Liz Cheney, remember Liz Piggy? That's right, Liz Piggy of Wyoming, the bullshit fake Republican who is a never-Trumper, anti-Trumper, Trump hater, America hater. Yeah, she's right up there with the Democrats. In fact, the Democrats supported her, wanted her to stay in office. She was great. In fact, she was on the January 6th BS committee and tried screwing everyone over. Well, did screw everyone over. So understand, folks. Understand, these people have no love for any of us. And they use terror and threats to increase our fear so we take no action. But Harriet Waggaman, who replaced Liz Piggy, she named the names in Congress. She named their names. She said Christopher Wray. And she named also Merrick Garland and said they are corrupt. She used the word corrupt to describe them. I felt that that was a powerful statement. Where are the men, by the way? I know they're there. They need to stand up and start acting like men and let fear fall by the wayside. All of Congress needs to stop acting afraid of these people. Now, we know what a mess. We know exactly how things work. Right? They want to silence us. We know that they want to use fear. And so we don't respond as the American people. And the American people are 300 million strong. But getting 300 million people to move in a direction is a lot harder than getting 435. So what I'm saying is Congress is a much smaller body. And the Senate, even more so, with only 100 senators. They have to ignore the threats and move forward. They have to accept responsibility. If they've done something wrong and they're going to get yelled at for it, made fun of, poked fun at, or even themselves get in trouble, then they need to accept responsibility and stand up and do what is the correct, right, just, and honorable thing. And start, well, it's been started, follow through now with getting rid of these scumbags. The names have been named, folks, not just by me and you. And so, again, our job as Americans, our job as the principals, that is to say, the people that own this country, our job is to make sure our elected representatives are supported by telling them what to do. If you have a company and your workers are not performing properly, what do? Well, you pull them aside, you tell them what needs to be done. You're the boss. It's the same story with Washington. They're not really the leadership. They're the followers. Look at how they act. They follow instructions. They follow and should follow what the voters want. Call them, write them, tell them what to do. They belong to us, not us to them. We tell them what to do, not the other way around. They represent us. They're representative of us. But they represent and stand in front of our rights, not behind them. They don't protect them or the rights that they have are not for them to decide whether we get to keep or not. Government doesn't have a choice. That's why we have a republic. Our rights stand regardless of what government thinks. Start fighting them, folks. The names have been named. Their actions are for everyone to see. The evidence is clear. Support their impeachment and removal. Be a keyboard warrior. Send emails. Send emails and do it. Your voice is more powerful now than it has ever been. Because they are, folks. Congress is full of fear. And if you can turn that fear into action and get them to move from frozen behavior to fight mode, fight for us and fight for the country, then you've done a great thing, a very powerful thing to get a representative to start thinking the way you do. That is an enormous benefit to you and our republic. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Godspeed. Semper Fi.